difference too. It was like $80,000 difference.
So you sent an official written protest,
Mhm.
and that went to Mike,
Yep, and Mike sent a response
official response back?
denying the protest, that's correct.
But you haven't seen the response from the county attorney?
No, I mean, I'm just here local, and the salesman through Marshall Bishop, the owner,
Yeah.
we did the protest, and I mean, we thought we had pretty well good ground because we called Gutman Oil, and Gutman had no fuel that day, and nobody could prove where they got that number at. That was our big protest, is because last year, or the last 2 years ago, they come to us and protested our bid because we used the 5 o'clock bid price, and it was supposed to be 2, but in the paperwork didn't say you had to use the 2 o'clock price. So when Oil protested us, so we lost it. So here again, you know, we bid on it every year, but then Oakland's always doing some kind of number game. So when we did the protest bid, you know, we had it all in black and white where they told you product out of Altoona was supposed to be such and such, but here the bill of lading was totally different. And our sales guy did prove that in the protest. I'd be kind of curious to see what Mike, you know, if he really looked at all the numbers, because what they quoted you and what they held you was 2 totally different things. And we put that in the protest, you know.
All right.
We can get him a copy of Mike's response, can't we?
Yeah, it was mailed to the whoever submitted the bid, the
Okay.
rep who submitted the bid. Yeah, it was sent out Thursday, I believe, so.
Okay, so the mail's screwy, so it might be in
Yeah.
Baltimore for all we know.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if it was, if it wasn't emailed, I'll make sure that you receive an email copy, but.
But that was just kind of funny, because that's why I'm here today, because, you know, when we was, you know, we watched it online, you know, the bid numbers and stuff. We was cheaper other than the heating oil and clear kerosene. And of course, you guys take the volume, you know, in the dollars and whatever's cheapest. But then that's when we researched the heating oil. Gutman had no heating oil that day. Because what we do is you guys wanted the rack price for that day. And Gutman had no heating oil, you know, for that day. So what we did that day to get the heating oil price, we had to pull it from a different terminal, which was 5 cents higher because we had to pay more freight to get the heating oil here. And that's where their number was cheaper than our number, because they was pulling some number that they can't prove. You know, because we called Gutman and they're like, we didn't have no heating oil that day, it's not available. But they got it on right here, I'm looking at it, where, you know, where they get the number.
But all that information was in the protest that you sent in?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
And it appears the county attorneys reviewed that.
Well, see, then 2 years ago, when he reviewed it, he just blowed it out of the water. But 2 years ago, our biggest complaint was we had the rack price, because the rack prices, you could have 6 rack prices in one day. But if you looked at you guys' bid thing, you just had to have the price for that day, which we did, but it was at 5 o'clock. And it didn't stipulate anything in the bid that you had to use the 2 o'clock, the 1 o'clock. Because I mean, nowadays, with stock market goes, I can give you 6 price increases for one day.
Yeah.
And we used the 5 o'clock price, which was cheaper by a penny and a half, but then the county attorney threw it out again. Here we are again. And we had good legs this time to stand on, because we had proof, because we went back and pulled all the rack prices for like 3 or 4 months of what they delivered and what, because we requested it to the county, you know, and we had all the rack prices there. And it was $80,000 different that we come up with that they overcharged them. And not me not being an attorney, I think I've looked into it a little more than that.
All
I
right.
mean, we know Oakland Oil's a big, you know, county supporter, don't get me wrong, you know. They donate to the county, which I don't blame them. But Marshall's in West Virginia, you know, that's his thing, you know. But it seems like we get the raw end of the deal.
All right, well,
You know.
definitely appreciate your comments, and we'll follow up with Mike and check on those things and see what the response is on that. Any other questions? All right, do we have a motion to approve the bids as presented?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Question on the motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Scott, we'll get back with you. Can you we'll make sure
We'll look into it.
Scott gets a copy.
It just seems kind of funny, because once we watched on the virtual meeting thing, we had the numbers, and everybody hauls the same fuel. It all comes from Alabama. And once Marshall looked at the numbers, and he looked at their numbers, there's no way, that when we called the terminal, Gutman had no heating oil that day.
Was the $80,000 that you talked about, was that over the length of the contract?
That was just in them couple months that we went into.
Okay, thank you.
Because see, what happens is, we bid, say if we got the bid today, we bid so many cents over rack, and that's the Altoona rack price. But what we could do is, what they was doing is, okay, they charge you, say, 8-9 cents a gallon, but they was pulling it from Pittsburgh, which was 4 or 5 cents a gallon. But they was still charging you guys the full price, but that's not how the bid states, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we did, because, Marshall come to me, he said, 2 years ago, they played hardball, so we did a research this year. Marshall wanted to prove a point, so he went and had the salesman go back several months and pull all the rack prices for that day. And when Open Oil hauled to the garages and stuff, they could never adjust the numbers.
Right.
And I know myself, when they took over when the new county garage coming open, the product was supposed to be PPC, and it wasn't PPC. It was Gutman. And that was 2 years ago. And I seen that myself. Because I went out to Jeff, and he had a bill of lading there, and it wasn't PPC price. Because see, when they guys get the bill of ladings, they don't know what's what, you know what I mean? Because I can give you a bill of lading from PPC, but we might buy it from Metroplex. Metroplex is like a company off by itself, like Troy Trailers. They'll buy 1 million gallons of product at a cheap price, and you can buy it through them. It's like a sale deal. They'll buy it up and sit on it, then they gotta get rid of it, and they'll dump it for a cheap price. And that's what they was doing. It just, I'll ask Marshall, tomorrow when I see him, call him up and see about the letter. I'd be kind of see what your county attorney said. Because, it was in black and white in the protest.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, we'll follow up on that.
That's kind of weird. He wouldn't look into it more than, Because, yeah, we lost the heating oil part of it, but, it was close. It was only, I forget dollar-wise what it was,
Okay, appreciate it, Scott. Thanks for coming in. Any other business before the board? That's the end. That was the last action item on the agenda. One slight change for an announcement. First of all, our next scheduled public meeting is Tuesday, July the 6th, here at the courthouse. Also, a lot of people have been sending us some emails and feedback and comments at GC Comments. We've changed that now to just comments at garrettcounty.org.
Both will work.
So if you have anything you'd like to send to us, obviously you can send it to any one of us individually, but collectively it would go to comments at garrettcounty.org. Once again, next meeting is Tuesday, July the 6th. If nobody has anything else, we'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.